Hey guys, what's going on? Happy Monday. I know it's Monday because you listen to podcasts on Monday. And if you don't, you should be, because there's a new episode of the Trust M podcast every Monday at 10 a.m., except for the handful of weeks where we miss. But generally, there's a podcast every Monday at 10 a.m. EST. So happy Monday. I'm going to assume it's Monday because I know that you want to hear the riveting things that I'm going to say on Monday mornings. See, I get us. Just kidding. I know. Another lame day. No mug, no bottle. I'm just drinking a ton of water. And please don't come for me about plastic. We recycle. I just love Poland Springs. And occasionally I pour it into another receptacle, but that didn't happen today. And I just want to put it out there that if you've never been in New York and had Poland Springs water, you've never had truly delicious water, because this is my jam. Love it forever. So I thought today that we would talk about friendship, because I've found that I feel like women between the age, I'm going to go with mid-20s and mid-50s, and everywhere in that range, they either have their group of friends that they love and are fantastic and it's like a movie, or they really struggle with friendship. And half of the struggle with friendship is either the kinds of friends that they currently have that aren't really great friends, or B, don't really have any and are embarrassed to say that out loud and talk about it, because you feel like everyone's just going to assume there's something wrong with you because you don't really have any friends. And I'll be totally honest, I am in group number B. Even group B, number B, I don't know. Number B doesn't make any sense. Group B. I'm in group B. I struggle with friendship. I don't have this big group of friends that I can confide in and hang out with. And I have a handful of people, and there are definitely people in my life that if there were an emergency, I could call them and they would be there. That's just my reality, and I'm very blessed that way. But in regards to that like group of friends that I go and do things with and go have lunch and hang out, and we're living similar lives and are going through similar things, I don't really have that. And don't get me wrong, I have a handful of great people in my life. But there have been plenty of times where I have just felt lonely in the friendship department. And there were definitely times that I felt like I couldn't verbalize that, because, again, it made it look like I felt like there's something wrong with me. Like, oh, you don't have any friends? The F is wrong with you that nobody wants to be your friend. Like, this isn't the first day of kindergarten anymore. And that's just kind of, I feel like, the narrative that it gets sometimes. So I just want to go through a couple of things. If you are in group B with me, well, first, if you're in group A and everything's fantastic, love you to pieces, but you can probably skip this episode because I got nothing for you. I'm happy that your life is like Sex in the City. I'm proud of you. If you are in group B with me, let's start with the first part of group B. You have friends that aren't really great friends. I have been there. And some of those relationships I kept on for way too long because I didn't want to be by myself. Or I had known that person for so many years, or I had known the struggles that they had been through. So I kept making excuses for their bad behavior, even though their bad behavior was taking a toll on me. And I feel like at this point, there's somebody listening going, yep, absolutely, that was me. Because I feel like we've all been there, right? Because here's the reality that people don't spin in the way of friendship. They spin it a different way. So when people are talking about like self-love, they're always like, you're not for everybody, and that's fine. And that's 100% true, and I agree. But flip it the other way too. Not everyone is for you. And it is okay to say, nope, not my people. Nope, nope, I've outgrown this reality. Instead of making yourself feel badly and live badly. Because here's the reality. When you spend time with people consistently, when you talk to people consistently who don't understand your struggle, that aren't running for goals and trying to strive to be something that's at least somewhere in the realm of what you're doing, those people tend to bring you down. I'm going to put it in just very layman's terms. Say you're training for a marathon and your best friend hates running and is just a known couch potato. Do you think that mid through training session, after weeks and weeks of that friend going, you're going out for a run again? Oh my God, just skip that. So stupid. Oh my gosh, you're never around anymore. All you're doing is training for this marathon. Ugh, your legs are sore, then stop running. You don't think after weeks and weeks of that's not going to affect your mental health and you're not going to train as hard or sometimes even train at all? That's true, because the people that you hang out with affect your mental health. They affect your reality. And that doesn't mean that you should only be friends with people who are just like you. But there are plenty of people that aren't even relatively near what you need in your life. And I bet if we all took inventory of our realities and the people that we allow in them, there are people on that list that probably shouldn't be there anymore. It is okay to outgrow other people. Is it okay to shit all over them and make them feel bad and say you're not good enough for me anymore? No, that's not nice and not okay. And I don't recommend that. But it is okay to pull away and separate yourself from people who are no longer serving your mental health and your needs and no longer serving the friendship that you're in. Because friendship is a two-sided coin. It's a two-way street. If you are giving all of it and they are giving none, are you even getting anything out of this relationship? And I feel like something else that people get weird about saying out loud, you should be getting things from your relationship. And that doesn't mean oh, she bought me a diamond ring or she bought me a puppy. I mean, emotionally, you should be emotionally stimulated in your relationships. If you're not, and it's more of a burden than it is a friendship, then it's not a friendship. It's just a burden. And I know that's hard, and I can say it all sassy right now, and I get it. It's hard, and I've been there. But when you are able to separate from those friendships, you will be doing yourself a service. Now let's talk about the other piece of this. We talked about being where you don't feel like you have any friends. And I feel like I go in and out of this, not regularly, but enough that I have lived it a few times. And I think step one is putting yourself in situations where you are forced to talk to other humans that are doing similar things to you. So for me, that looked like trying to form and be a part of more outward exercise where other people are involved. I am really on this health kick right now. I'm trying to make a total life change and not a diet. So I'm making exercise a part of my regular everyday life. That means I should try to make friends and be around people who also make exercise an everyday part of their life. And by doing that, I've made connections with more people. And I think for me and people like me, there's an extra sticky part here. So if you are a genuinely outgoing human, and by outgoing, I mean a few different things. Do you have leadership qualities? Are you loud and boisterous? Are you somebody who has an opinion and isn't afraid to share it? Those are a lot of qualities that I definitely attribute to myself and I'm very proud of. I am not afraid to stand up and give my opinion, especially when asked. So for me, I think people assume that, oh, she's good. Oh, she has tons of friends who are just like her. Oh, she does not need my hellos or my highs or, oh, by the way, you look nice. She don't need any of that. She's good. When in reality, it's a lot of me, myself, I, and then sometimes Devin. Because I think people assume that I'm good. And I actually just had I actually just had a conversation with a friend where I talked about this and she went, I'm sorry. I'm so confused right now. Because she is actually somebody that I've been walking with. And she's like, I would have never thought in a million years that you struggle to make friends. And I was like, no, 100%. I absolutely struggle. And she's like, I would have never thought that. She's like, one, I've never asked you to do anything but our walks because I just think you're crazy busy. You have 2 businesses and you're going to school. You're doing all the things. I just didn't want to bother you. And she's like, and two, I genuinely thought you just had all these people. And I feel like a lot of people feel that way. I think we, without intention, make assumptions about other people's lives and forget that everyone needs to be checked in on. And even if you check in on somebody and they actually are good and don't need anything, you were the person that checked in, and that means so much to people, even if they don't realize it. So just a little side note in there, check on your people, even the ones that seem like they're perfectly fine. But okay, back to where I was at with this. I went on a whole other tangent. But so you got to verbalize that. You got to tell people, hey, look, I really appreciated the time we've been spending together. It's a little hard for me to make friends. And I'm just looking to kind of step out more and do more stuff. I feel like after COVID, for sure, we've all struggled with that. Verbalize that to people. If there are people out there, they're going to go, ew, she doesn't have any friends. Guess what? You can cross that one off the list because she ain't your friend. She was never your friend. Those were not the people you wanted. But actual good people that you could legitimately have friendships with will not have that reaction. So put yourself in places where you can meet people that are similar to you. I'm a business owner. Finding friends who also own their own businesses and know what that looks like and that schedule's like, it's going to be really good for me. I'm trying to make exercise a priority. Keep putting myself in situations where I'm going to find people who like to exercise. Another great option for me. And whatever that looks like for you. Are you in sales? Do you work in a lab? Do you have a doggy daycare? I don't know. What do you do? Go find people who like similar things. What are your hobbies? And start to put yourself around people who are like that, because you're going to have these connections. So you'll have something in common, and then you'll also have your own personalities, and that's where the differences will come in. But forcing yourself to stay in friendships that are bad for you, or forcing yourself to just be alone, I don't think is the right option either way. Grow I call it like my personal well-being network here, because everyone always talks about networks when it comes to business. But like, I need people. We all need people. So being able to make those connections and finding the right people is so crucial for our success as human beings. All right, guys. So if you're struggling and you're like me in Group B, you're not alone. And you and I are both going to do things that are going to make us feel better and have more friends in our lives, right? All right, y'all. I'm going to let you run. I hope this was helpful for any of you who are struggling in the friend market like I am. Make sure you are subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing our podcast with people or our YouTube video. I appreciate you and your gorgeous face, and I will see you next Monday.